everybody. We're trying something new tonight. We are on the air on Twitter and here. Timberwolves do lose, though, however, to the Portland Trailblazers. Sorry, I'm multitasking right now. They lose 124 to 118. I actually remember the score tonight. You should be very proud of me. But anyways, if you're here on Twitter Spaces, I think that's where I'm doing it. If you're here on Twitter Spaces, feel free to join us in the YouTube. You can also just listen audio-wise if you'd like to on the Twitter. That's totally fine. But I will be addressing comments in the YouTube. So if you are going to check it out, we've got some comments before I even got here today. The great one roasting me before I even got here, saying, I don't know how you gave Nas a B grade last night. He single-handedly is the reason the defense is so bad. Why doesn't Finch try Luka out? Can't get much worse than Nas. I think we saw a little bit of Luka's rebounding defense. It was pretty bad. But I hear you. I'm not saying that. The one thing that has been good about Nas is that he has had a lot of good blocks, but defensively, yes. It's always going to be a struggle. So that's unfortunate. Let's see. Finch is a terrible. This is all from the great one, by the way. So the great one was just roasting Finch before and me. Finch is a terrible coach. He makes no in-game changes. I'd much rather have Billups as a head coach. There are some valid points to bring up about Finch at this point. I still think I'm okay with Finch. I'm not as heated as I know a lot of people are at Finch. But there are legit complaints to be made. There's just a lot of there's just like you said, there's no in-game changes. We just barely have anything happening, and so much of this is reliant on our players just making buckets. And I know he talks about flow, but it can't just be flow. But then the great one, you start losing me. Finch is the problem, not Cat. Cat is also a problem. He is. He just definitely is. Can't blame this team being mentally weak on Cat anymore. I don't know where that's coming from. Anyways, Godfrey says, I think I like Finch. I love you, Godfrey. JJ's here. I'm like Jordan in 95. I made my return. Only took one comment to get all of Timberwolves Reddit in their feelings. Oh, really? Let's see. Let's just say some are mad that their aunt is playing better than ours. He did. Both Ants played pretty well tonight, though. Realistically, Anthony Simons played better overall tonight, just because he played the whole game. But Godfrey, in-game changes. But yeah, it's just there's the in-game changes, I don't know. We're not going to talk about Finch too much, but Anthony played better than Ant overall, just because he played a full game. He played the whole game all the way through. There was no ups and downs of Ant number 2's game, or however you want to call it. But yeah, they both played well. And I said on Twitter, I think we can all agree that Ant is better than Ant, right? I think that's fair. That's fair to a judgment there. But yeah, anyways, it's just going to be me tonight. No Ashwin. If you've been gone for the past couple times, Ashwin is out until at least the 15th. We're not 100% certain exactly when, but yeah, let's see. Let's say Godfrey. All it took was their aunt took the leap. Ours was supposed to. Yeah, JJ, but JJ, Ant looks better over these last few games without Cat in there. He just really does look better. Ant had such incredible moments tonight. I do think, and I'm talking about our Ant when I say Ant, but I think he really did play well tonight. But as you've brought up in the past, we can't have it be for 2 quarters or even just 3 quarters. It has to be a full game. Pride night tonight. The Edwards kryptonite. God, you guys. Oh my goodness. We need Edwards to play better through 4. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I didn't even see this comment. Exactly. It was the second night of the back-to-back. So that is one fair thing. But yeah, it's he has played better. He's played better without Cat, and I think that he will continue to get better without Cat being in there. But we're not going to know that until a week or two from now. Like, he needs to be consistent. We can't, even if he strings together 4 or 5 good games in a row. We've seen a little bit of that in the past, but like, we need constant. Even he said it himself. We just need it. We just need the constant thing. Outside of the Jazz game, I agree. I already forgot the Jazz game, so I don't even remember what happened. But well, anyways, let's jump into the tier list right away. I know it's late for everybody, so I don't want to keep everybody too late. Oops, I didn't share my screen. I didn't get that all prepared. Boom, boom. Okay. And we'll leave the screen like this today. Actually, we'll do this one again. This one was interesting, and I've got a better camera today, so it works. And I've got the Twitter Spaces open, so hopefully that's working. And hopefully they can hear me. I don't think there's anybody in there. I don't even know how it really works. So we're just hanging out. If people join, I'm sorry, but I'm paying attention to the YouTube. So anyways, we're going to go through some relatively quickly, like Austin Rivers tonight. Like, we don't really need to talk too much about it. Austin, although I've had flashes of liking him out there, and defensively he's been okay. He had a couple fouls tonight. It wasn't my favorite Austin Rivers night. I'm probably going to go with a D for Austin Rivers tonight. I don't know. I don't feel super strongly about it, but it's just like it just wasn't a good game. What else? Who do we got next? Let's do Nas. So this is what the great one was talking about before I even got here. So Nas, I didn't even read off the stats. So Rivers had 0 points, 1 rebound, 2 fouls. That's it. And 1 field goal attempt. It was nothing. He was part of the unit that was getting beaten. It was just not good. So let's see here. Who was I doing? Naz Reid, 15 points, 2 blocks, a steal, 6 of 12 shooting, 3 of 3 from the line. Only 1 personal foul, but not amazing defense. I mean, he did have a couple blocks, but I can definitely see where defensive complaints could be. This is not defense is not his strong suit. Like, he's clearly more of like a shooting big. But he's more of a scoring big, I should say. But yeah, it was an okay game. I think scoring wise, he helped us out a lot tonight. Like, there was those moments where he was hitting threes. And then he got that one crazy putback too. So he helped out in lots of ways. So I'm going to give Nas, God, this feels weird to give him a C, but I will for the great one, because I'm sure the great one wants me to give him a Wancho. So I'm going to give him C. All right. And then let's do, man, it's crazy. I feel like I don't even remember Jalen out there, and he was barely out there. He was only out there for 16 minutes, 6 points, 2 assists, 3 of 8 shooting. Wasn't a great night for him, and I think Finch realized it, so didn't play him very much. Definitely need more out of Jalen, and especially in a game like this where everybody's just making shots, defense is optional. So this just had to be a good game for him scoring-wise, and it wasn't. I don't know if I want to go full Wancho, because Wancho is like, it made me mad, but it wasn't good, so we'll give him a D. Also, I'm going to change this because I do feel like this is annoying, so I'm going to do this so you guys can see it. And then who's up next? So we're going to do the starting lineup next? Yeah, starting lineup next. So we'll start with Jaden. So Jaden played 29 minutes, had 9 points, 2 assists, no rebounds. That's kind of weird. But I mean, Gobert, well, I felt like Gobert was getting them all, but Kyle Anderson had another weird night stat-wise. 3 of 7 shooting for Jaden. He had a couple big threes. That 1 3 near the end of the game that got me kind of hyped. I was like, okay, we might bring this back. But no, he played decent tonight. This was just like a regular Jaden game. I hate saying stuff like that about Jaden, but it's just true. Like, this wasn't like some phenomenal performance, but like, Jaden was Jaden. Godfrey says, Nas 6 of 12, 15 points in 14 minutes, grade A. Yeah, I mean, if more people agree, I am certainly down for that. Andreas says, settled for jumpers late, then they pulled away. Also, yes, thank you for bringing this up because I meant to talk about this earlier. Like, the way we started the fourth and the way we went, we started, like, Ant was throwing lobs to Gobert. Kyle Anderson was throwing lobs to Ant. Like, weird combos of plays that we never see. Don't get me wrong. I'm down for those plays. We just never do those plays. So, like, we were just doing weird stuff. And yes, we were settling for jumpers a little bit too much too, but there were just tons of like weirdo plays that we don't normally see happen. That it was like, why are we doing this now? Like, why are we deciding to suddenly pull out these plays that normal NBA teams do that we never do, and think that we can pull it off? I don't know, but we tried it. So I guess that's a good thing. Maybe that's that in-game change that we were talking about earlier. But yeah. But anyways, I appreciate you stopping by. And then where were we on? We were on Jaden, but it was just an okay game. If anybody feels strongly about Nas not being a C, let me know. I know Godfrey said A. It's convincing. Actually, 15 points in 14 minutes. I kind of forgot to mention that he only played 14 minutes. That's pretty crazy. But for Jaden, I'm going to give him a C as well. It's just like kind of an expected game out of Jaden. Like, you hope to have some shot making. Not like he had a ton, but like you want, if he can shoot 3 of 7, obviously that's better than 1 and 7. I don't know. This is like first grade analysis, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay. It's whatever. But next, Kyle Anderson. We got to talk about Kyle Anderson. He's just having the weirdest stat lines, and like with Cat being out and him being like our power forward, essentially, it is like last night he had 15 points, 12 assists, and 7 rebounds, or was it the opposite? I don't even remember. But he almost had a triple-double last night, and it was not that far away from that this time. So tonight, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. He was 5 of 9 shooting. It was just a weird game. But this is how it's going to be with Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson is going to have, as we say it a million times, or as I say it a million times, ugly but efficient games. I mean, like, it's funny because when I watched Kyle Anderson as a fan of, when I was watching him on the Grizzlies, every time you're like, oh, he's traveling every single play. But then you realize that he wasn't. And like tonight, you can hear the crowd moaning and groaning every time he drives to the bucket, but it's pretty funny. The great one, I'm starting to think that you're just like a Cat propaganda. Like, Nas was not unplayable. Defensively, you get that. I understand. But offensively, he was 6 of 12. He had 15 points in 14 minutes. That's pretty crazy. For your backup center who was undrafted, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's A1. Obviously, he's C. But yeah. Anyways, off the Jaden thing, off the Nas thing, on to the next, Kyle Anderson. I think Kyle, defensively as well, has been pretty good for us. I think it just changes everything for us when he's out there offensively and defensively. Obviously, he was trying to do even more passing tonight. But Blazers were so happy when Nas was in the game. Yeah, Kyle Anderson just affects the game in positive ways. He just does. He's kind of like Jaden, but with the stats. Because like Jaden affects the game in so many ways that you don't see show up in stats. We've talked about this for years now. But Kyle Anderson comes in and like he's almost got a triple-double. Like, it's crazy. I'm going to give him a B tonight. This was a good game. He had a couple bad turnovers, like I was talking about in the fourth quarter. But like overall, it was a good game. I liked it. Nas belongs in the G. Glenn Taylor tier? Man, I didn't realize you were this against Nas Reed. I can't go against Nas like that. He was fine. He can't score consistently. True. He's a terrible defender. Yeah, he is. And he's not good at rebounding either. But that's okay. Because he can hit a couple threes and his name is Nas. All right, next up. Rudy Gobert, the center that we actually want to talk about. We don't want to talk about Nas. Rudy had another decent game. He had 24 points, 9 rebounds. It certainly felt like more than 9 rebounds to me. I don't know what is happening there. But anyways, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 4 steals. He was 9 of 11 shooting, 6 of 9 from the line, 4 personals. Some of those were BS. That one flop was like insane. Not from him, from I think it was Grant. That was annoying. But this is a good game. I was kind of worried after the last game because obviously, if you watched last night's game against Utah, we all knew he was going to be super hyped up. Obviously, this is like his chance to like show that like where he is now. You know, it's coming back home, all that stuff, emotional. And last night he was dunking like crazy. He was dunking on everybody. He was aggressively grabbing rebounds, and he was just playing with a different aggression level. That was like, I want to see this every game. And he kind of came out with that tonight. I wouldn't say it's the same level, which makes sense. It's not as emotional of a game, and it's on the night of a back-to-back. But I thought this was like a pretty good Gobert game, at least a Timberwolves Gobert game. So, yeah, I mean, 24 points. He had a lot of dunks again, and some like he had those passes where we were like down at his feet, and he's still dunking. He was in there in clutch minutes getting buckets. So like, I don't know. He almost had that and one. Man, that would have been huge too if he would have hit that, even though he missed the free throw. But you never know. If he makes it, maybe it goes in. I don't know. But it was a good night for him. I don't know if I want to give him an A. It's hard to give somebody an A unless they really, really played well all around. But I mean, I'd say he's borderline B or A. But since we lost, I'm going to knock him down to a B. Let me know if you disagree with that. But that's where I'm putting him for tonight. Why is he playing so much? At least give Luka a chance. We did give Luka a chance. Look, he didn't look good out there. But what we should be talking about is, who is it? Now I'm forgetting. I keep trying to say Wendell Moore in my mind. Josh Minott. Why not, right? Like, it's time. He's going crazy in the G League. I think, though, on a serious note, the great one, like, I would be okay with Luka playing a little bit more. And okay, for anybody that doesn't know, Luka Garza, I want Garza to be playing in like minutes where it doesn't matter as much. Like, I don't want him out there in games where we're super close. Like, we need to have him out there. I don't mind sprinkling him in a little bit, but like, think of this as like Jake Layman minutes. You know, I want to see him out there in the NBA, even against like third stringers when we're up by 20 or something like that. I don't care. That's what I want to see. I'm not saying I don't want to see Luka. I know there's a lot of anti-Luka Garza people out there on Twitter. Some for good reasons, some for bad. But I'm curious, obviously. Like, I'm very curious, especially with Cat out. This is like the time to play him. But I mean, Nas has been making some shots recently. He's been blocking some shots. I know he's not great defensively, but yeah. So anyways, who are we on to? D'Angelo Russell has remembered how to play basketball these past couple games, and God, I love it when D'Lo plays well. It is so much more fun to watch Timberwolves basketball when there's a point guard that can make shots. Like that, it's just still something that I'm still not used to. So seeing him just pull up from 3 and just swish it every time, man, it is just so fun. But anyways, he played 39 minutes. Had 24 points, 3 assists, 3 steals. He was 9 of 15 shooting, 4 of 5 from 3. I mean, these are good. He did have 5 turnovers. He was a part of some of those turnovers, I think, in the beginning of the fourth. That was really annoying. But Ant, D'Lo, backcourt cost Wolves the game. Sloppy passes and orange pylon defense. Okay, yes, the defense I agree with. And the sloppy passes too. I mean, that's what we were just talking about. You know, it was just bad timing with the sloppy passes. But, you know, Ant and D'Lo also are the ones that are keeping us in the games with their shot making. So, you know, Ant 26, Russell 24, Gobert 24. Like, that's crazy from like your top 3 players. But this was just a shootout of a game. You just had to continue going and continue going. And you just couldn't blink. You know, I think that's what Jim Pete said at the end of the game. But like, you can't miss a shot when you're playing against somebody like Dame, And then Ant number 2, and all of these shooters apparently that they have, because everybody just started making them. And then Eubanks is dunking all over everybody, cutting open his hands and stuff. It was just insanity. But I would say Russell tonight. Again, I'm just happy to see that offensive production. So for me, on our tier list, again, just a reminder of our tier list here on YouTube, but it's A1 is like an unforgettably good game. Glenn Taylor or Wancho is like terrible, terrible, terrible game. Glenn Taylor is like always terrible every game. It never gets better. And C is what we expect out of a player. I'm probably going to go with a B tonight, just because I just love seeing the scoring out of Russell. It just makes the game so much more enjoyable. Like, we lost tonight, but I had fun watching this game. Like, I'm not sitting here thinking, oh man, like, I'm so bummed right now. Like, sure, that was an opportunity to win a game tonight, but like, this was a fun basketball game, and I cannot wait to play them again on Monday. So, and hopefully we can do this again. You know, real basketball teams do. I always question whether the Timberwolves will do something back to back, or if it'll just continue to be like one good game, and then, you know, we go back to nothing for a couple. So anyways, D'Lo, 24 points and 3 assists, 3 steals. He's going to end up with a B tonight. Not the best defense, and some sloppy passes, as Godfrey mentioned here, but it was serviceable for sure, and more than serviceable. I mean, he looked good tonight. And then we're on to the last player we're going to grade tonight, Anthony Edwards. Played 40 minutes on a back-to-back. We got Tibbs in here coaching us apparently. 26 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, triple-double watch, 2 steals. He was 10 of 20 shooting, 4 of 8 from 3, 2 of 4 from the line. He only got to the line a couple times. Did have 3 personnel fouls, did have 3 turnovers, as we were mentioning. So the combination backcourt of Edwards and Russell did have 8 combined turnovers, which obviously is not good. And a lot of those happened in the fourth, in kind of just moments where you just couldn't have that happen. But I will say that this was a fun game to watch from Ant. I mean, Ant looked like a star tonight. I'm not saying that obviously he couldn't carry us to a victory, and like he had some, he does still disappear for moments in games. I still will not get on the level of saying what some have said of the Andrew Wiggins level disappearing. I don't think it's like that. But it is with the Towns on the court. But with Towns off the court, he is much more engaged because he just has the ball more. Obviously, he had 20 shots tonight. But no, I thought this was a decent game from him. Defensively, wasn't like how last night's defense was like crazy. I loved watching him play defense last night. Tonight was okay. 2 steals is all right. But I mean, the defense in general, like we're rating these guys on an individual scale. So like, this isn't like a team thing. Like he didn't do anything super egregious to my knowledge, if I can remember correctly, but like the team in general, like we're still like, we have to be giving up the highest 3-point percentage in the league. We just have to. There's no way we're not. If there's another team that's beating us, that's crazy. Let's see. Godfrey in the comments says Wolves top 3, 74 points. Blazers top 3, 84 points. Yeah, and that's kind of what Jim Pete was talking about at the end of the game. You can't blink in these situations. You can't have turnovers. You can't have missed shots, especially open shots, because we're going to be giving them open shots. Like that's just what we do. We just give players open shots. And even though we were able to like somewhat successfully guard Dame at near the end of game, I mean, he had to pull up from like 30 for that one, and of course it goes in. But there's just like, this was a game where Trailblazers were just super confident, and they do have talent, like just because these guys aren't like top names, like they've got really talented players out there. The great one says Blazers were not guarding him. Only reason he scored a few points. If you're still talking about Nas, you're still talking about Nas. I cannot talk about Nas anymore. Well, they can. I mean, you're right. You're not wrong, the great one. It's just I can't talk about Nas this whole show. I can't, because Ant was good. I need to give him a grade. I'm going to give Ant a B. I know we lost. And again, C is what we expect out of a player, and to your point, great one. Like, what do we expect out of Nas? I certainly don't expect high-level defense. And I also don't expect 15 points in 14 minutes. So I think C is fair. But like a frustrating loss. But like I said, I'm not really that down about tonight's game. I think we're showing signs of a team that is going to still compete without Towns in there. I still worry about Towns when he comes back. Like, obviously, like, we're getting in a groove right now. And once Towns comes back, we're going to have to completely change up the offense because we go from a very like, okay, we're passing back and forth between D'Lo and Ant, trying to get the open shot and screen at the top to lobs. But, it's just it's going to be tricky to bring him back in. So I still am excited to see these next few games with, again, I don't even know if it's been updated how long Cat will be out. But yeah, the great one then on defense, he has no chance, can't play. I don't think it's absolutely that bad for Nas. Like, he is blocking shots. I know he's not a top tier defender. Nas Reed was on fire tonight. Godfrey says the Wolves would have won the game if Nas Reed had played more. Nas was not on fire. Wow, this is amazing. Godfrey, again, winning the comments tonight. But yeah, so Timberwolves lose 124-118. They will stay in Portland for Monday night's game, which is also a late night game. I know you guys don't love that. I am very okay with that, considering I am now in Seattle, so West Coast time. This is great. Right now, it's only 10 o'clock for me, so I am vibing right now. This is amazing. I was able to get work done. I was able to get my photo shoots done. I was able to jump right into this, to watch the full game. Man, like, that can't get much better than that. So, but let's take a look at the schedule coming up. So the schedule coming up for the Wolves, like I said, they do play the Trailblazers again on Monday. And then I can't remember, do we play the Clippers? I think we play the Clippers on Wednesday, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me pull it up here. So Monday, Wednesday, we play the Clippers. Yep. So we play the Clippers on ESPN. Ooh, interesting. And then I think we play again on Friday, or is it Saturday? Let me see. Then we play Friday against the Thunder, and that's back on Central Time. So everybody in Central Time can be happy again. But until then, I will be very happy because all these games are 7. Like I mentioned, Ashwin may be back coming up in the next week or two. I'm not exactly sure. So we'll have a little bit more conversation-wise. We will still be doing the Twitter spaces as well. I think that's kind of a cool idea. I don't know how that'll work with Ashwin. We'll kind of have to figure it out. I've just got it on my phone, and then I've got YouTube up on my computer. So if you're watching or if you're listening on the Twitter spaces, feel free to check us out on YouTube. We do have a YouTube channel. If you're listening on the YouTube channel and watching the YouTube channel, feel free to like the video, subscribe. We do this after the games. I feel like doing this. Yeah, and if you're re-listening to this or re-watching this, let me know your thoughts on the game, and let me know if Nas Reed is ruining your life, I guess. That's apparently the theme of tonight for some people. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for us tonight. I don't have much else to add. We just were talking a bunch last night. I'll probably be back for Monday night's game. I can't guarantee that just yet, but I think I will. We've got fantasy football this weekend. I'm super pumped. Last week before the playoffs, and I need a win, and I need some losses from others. So we'll see what happens there. But anyways, it's been fun talking to you. Sorry, I don't have the outro music to play on the Twitter spaces. And you won't be able to hear it. It's just in my headphones. But if you want to hear it, maybe I'll just loop it on the YouTube channel. So we're going to end the live on Twitter Spaces. But yeah, you're trolling. But I will see you guys Monday night. Intro as the outro. See ya.